All right, so here's my favorite topic. It's about creating a database, but the touch program behind it. So a lot of you guys come from a lineage where you may have heard of touch programs, or what's 33 touch, what's 36 touch, what's the best method to communicate with my client database, all that kind of stuff. And one of the things you have to remember is that we refer to it as mind share. Okay, so the whole concept is you have a database. And what is a database? There's multiple databases. We created in my company a thing called the 6 different databases, which is one of my favorite topics that I coach on, that I talk about. Today's, though, we're only talking about what we refer to as our METS database. A METS database are all the people that you know. Okay, so that's people that you actually know. And so you don't have to know them as in best friends, but there is a massive network that you sit amongst of people that you've either met, interacted with, cross paths with, similar things in common with, and you're not even freaking touching it. You're doing nothing with it, okay? And what I mean by that is, like, we go to these really hard methods, or I speak to a lot of business owners who say to me, gosh, like I have these, I'm a small business owner or a business owner, and I want to take my business to the next level. And I go, okay, well, that's great. But then I go, like, let's look at your database. Like, all the people that you actually know and interact with, like, are you a secret business owner, or are you an actual business owner? Do you have a database? Do you not have a database? So the database touch program that I'm referring to today is all about the people that you've met, even just once. It's the ocular connection that you're really looking at. Is if you have an ocular connection with somebody, it changes things. So basically, if you have that eye-to-eye contact with somebody, then it's an imprint. You know what they look like. It changes the level of connection. It's just what it is. I can talk to somebody on the phone 400 times, but unless I have an ocular connection with them, it doesn't work. Okay, so anyway, long story short, one of the things that you're looking at is we refer to your database of METS database as your mind share. When you have a touch program, which is what we're talking about today, when you have a proper touch program, wait till you hear what I'm going to say. Okay, mind share is key. So I did this little pie chart here because, well, I love pie charts. Not really, ever. But anyway, I drew my favorite pie chart. Anyway, so here's my pie chart. Okay, so here's the thing. Mind share is important because what you want to be is you are the product. If you're a business owner, you are the product. Okay, you are the product. Remember that. Okay, so your communication is not about what you want to make for dinner or what you want to do or your pet woo-woo, whatever it is. You really, it's you. You are the product. So when you're doing a communication system to your database, all those people that may or may not know you in that ocular connection of your database, you want to remember that the product is you. I'm always saying that. The product is you. So you're marketing around it. You need to be number one. If your mind share with the people that are in your circle is not strong, if they may know what you do for a living, that's a different story altogether. But if you're not occupying their mind share as the leading expert, you are the product. If you're a personal trainer, I love talking about fitness, but if you're a personal trainer, there's different levels, right? Like if you're not occupying, if you're the product and you're not occupying my mind share, then I'm not going to probably refer you. I may know you're a personal trainer, but am I really going to refer you? And the answer is no, I'm probably not. In order to occupy mind share, there's no other position that's helpful. If you're in position 2 or 3, which is really what comes down to in marketing, if the product is you will, again, if you occupy mind share, that means you're occupying the greatest portion of the pie in people's minds when they think of personal trainer, realtor, chef, small business owner, cake maker, car sales, whatever, okay, whatever business that you're actually in, if you're not occupying at least half of the pie, then that means that your mind share is not significant enough, okay, so your business levels won't rise. You're going to be playing in number 2 spot if you do marginal communication, or you can be lumped in with number 3, which is everybody else. Okay, so there is no position that is helpful other than being positioned in the top mind share of everybody that you do business with. That is the key thing. How much mind share are you occupying? And the only way to do that is to know that you are the product, and in order to get my mind share, you need to communicate with me consistently, okay? So understand that. Communication is what gets you a higher level of mind share. And again, if you're communicating different things that are not going to make it very freaking clear that you are the best in this category or the person to go through in this category, then I'm not going to be thinking of you. So there's a lot of people, like I said, before I get into how to create that touch program or that system, one of the things you have to remember is this, is that the least amount of communication is going to put you in category number 3 with everybody else. Number 2 is okay, but number 1 is where you need to be. And there's no such thing as too much communication. There really isn't. And there's no such thing as knowing too much information. That's not it. I'll give you an example. So we were talking about rate increases. I got to be careful here. I'm in pretty high heels. Anyway, so the point is that I was talking to everybody about the rate increases that just occurred, okay? So there's like 1 million realtors in this world. How many of them were first out of the gate to tell you all about the rate increases that happen? Is it variable or is it fixed that you should go with? How many of them led that information out? How many of them actually just posted something on Facebook a day or two later, or they're just talking about it? How many didn't post anything about it? How many of you have realtors that are watching this later? Okay, because we got a ton of people watching this later. So here's the thing. How many of you have realtors or bought or sold a house and got an email from your realtor saying, here's a webinar we're doing on the latest interest rate changes. We haven't had rate increases like this in a long time. So join us in this webinar where we're going to educate you and share with you valuable information that's going to help you decide what you should do. I guarantee you, for all of the thousands of realtors out there, probably 1 or 2. And those of you who are watching this probably didn't get much, okay? You have to always remember, it's like, again, it's about executing your information and knowledge and occupying the product is you. If a big rate change, if you're a realtor in the industry and a big rate change happened and you didn't get the information out to your whole database ASAP and lead the market knowledge with it and interview a mortgage rep or do whatever you had to do, then guess what? You don't occupy mindshare. I have several good friends who are mortgage reps. This is probably going to cost me a few of them as friends. But here's the thing. I have many investment properties. Okay, so I'm an investor. I love investing in real estate. It's what I love to do. I do it under my corporation now, and I love it. So here's an interesting thing. I've invested with a lot of different mortgage reps over the years. Okay, I'll tell you right now, nobody emailed me. I didn't get one email. I got 5 properties coming up for refinancing in the next 2 months. Nobody emailed me. Nobody's actually chased me down. Nobody gave me information. All those mortgage reps posted shit on Facebook, but none of them actually reached out to me. I should be in their database. I'm an investor. I'm gearing up to buy a ton more investment properties in the next 12 months. So I'm sort of looking at that and I'm going, this is what we're talking about today. Where are the people reaching out to be top of mind share? They're not, which is why I generally won't refer people unless they occupy my mind share. Okay, so it doesn't matter what industry you're in, you need to occupy the mind share. And also, guys, people hold themselves back, okay? And I just kind of want to put this here. Stop worrying about what people think. I mean, I hear it all the time. People are like, oh my God, you want to communicate 40 times a year. You want to do this. Yeah, like if it takes 80 times a year to build a great, successful business and be top of mind share, you got to compete with a lot of traffic out there. And if you're worried that people aren't going to like the shit that you're telling them, then that means the stuff that you're probably telling them is useless. So get in tune with what your consumers want. Get in tune with the hottest topics of the industry and get out there and share the information. Don't be afraid to do it. So let's talk about it. I'm going to give you an example about a database, okay? Now, here's the thing. The key to building a business, guys, the key to building a business is to have as many local people thinking of you as the go-to person. That's mind share. Okay, that's exactly what it is. So if you're the one, it's about local. See, Facebook, Instagram, and all that stuff can be local, but your database is all the people that you've met. Every single person should be in there. Okay, so that probably means I'm going to be added now to like 400 email lists, but whatever. Anyway, the point is you have to have that ocular connection. But I mean, I know people that I run with, work out with, that I swim with. I don't have a friggin' clue what they do for a living, because they don't even market me. You know, they don't even look at me as someone that they would market to. And I'm like, I don't know. I'm one of the most connected people I know. And I'm also incredibly social. I'm like, I'd be a great ally. And I'm like, I know some of them own businesses and they don't even bother. So it's about networking. It's also like, it's about getting out there and finding people who have things in common with you, but also networking with them. So anyway, the key to building a business, like I said, is to have as many local people thinking of you as a way to go. Most of us are terrified to do that. I don't know why. We're either afraid of success, afraid of failure, or maybe we're just not confident in what we're doing. But I also think that at the end of the day, it's not hard to understand and be confident. You don't have to be an extrovert. A lot of people come to me and say, I'm an introvert, I don't like doing it. If you really knew me, you'd know that I am actually incredibly introverted. Okay, I really do. People are always like, oh, I work out alone. I work out alone. There's nothing more I like. There's nothing more I like than going out for a 2 to 3 hour run all by myself. I love it. I love it. I get to put on audio or music or whatever the case is. I zone right out. I did a run this Saturday for over 2 hours. I don't even know what happened. I just zoned out and I was done, and it was amazing. Okay, but that's the introvert side of me. And so you got to put yourself out there. If you think that I feel comfortable doing this, standing in front of a camera, talking on live Facebook, knowing that whatever I say could go one way or another, that's terrifying for someone like me. I just get over it. I just get over it because I have to have confidence in what I'm doing, and I have to put myself out there because I'm a business owner who knows my shit. So guess what? That's how I do it. All right. So the point is, you rip the Band-Aid off and you just go for it. Could I have better lighting? Absolutely. Could I have done my hair differently today? Yeah, of course I could have. But you know what? C'est la vie. It's the way it goes. Woohoo. Anyway, so most of us are terrified, so rip the Band-Aid off. I'm going to give you 4 examples of 4 different clients that we have before I get into the nitty-gritties here. So take note of this. This is really interesting. Client number 1, okay, I put the numbers here. $1.8 million in revenue profit that they made for their company. So they hit 1.8 million. They have 1,600 people in their METS database, okay? Client number 2, 3.8 million, 16,000 people in their database. Okay, these are profits that the business owners make, and these, by the way, are small business owners. These aren't like, Jaguar or Starbucks or some of our other clients. C, okay, third client, $6 million of revenue, 30,000 people in their database. And the final one, $16 million of profit in their company and revenue, 70,000 or plus people in their database. All of these 4 different people have different sizes of databases. The revenue that you're seeing is associated with it. You would think the person who has $16 million of profit in their company with 70,000 people, you automatically think that that person works harder. The hardest working person in this group is the first one that I said at 1.8 million with 1,600 people in their database. It's too small. Their database is so small that what they're doing is they're working harder and harder and harder to find business, and they're bleeding out of a rock. Yeah, their profits and their margins are good and everybody's happy with it, but the person who has a 70,000 person database and making 16 million is not killing themselves, nor is the person with 30,000 people making 6 million. They're actually living great lives. They're naturally building their METS databases because they get it. The key to building a great business is to have as many local people you think of that are going to you as the go-to person. Okay, so that's an interesting point I want you to remember. Building the database is just as important as what I'm going to tell you about growing the database into the touch program. So what is a touch program? The 3 reasons why you do a touch program of communicating to get that mind share is you want to build loyalty. So the more you communicate with it, the more you build loyalty. You want to create trust. Trust is only created when you're actually having that knowledge and that information transfer, and you want to get to know them and they need to get to know you. So there's a good mixture of content as well. So those are the reasons why you actually want to have a touch program, which will create those 3 things: building loyalty, creating trust, and actually getting to know you will create mind share. That's how you do it. Now, how many times? It needs to be regular. So it has to be consistent. Just like anything, consistency imprints into the brain. We've talked about that. You have your conscious and your subconscious. We need to do it so consistent that subconsciously you got the mind share. This is all about consistency. So the minimum that you hear people talk about is 33. I say blow the 33 up and go 40, 50, 60 times a year. You need to go all in, and we'll cover that in a second. Don't worry. I'm not going to leave you hanging on that one. So I would say minimum is 35, and I would go all the way up to 60, okay? So it's made up of people in your database that you know. That becomes your core foundation. But remember, the key thing about a great database is you want to target all the people they know. That's the power of mindshare. See, every single person in your database knows 5 people that they are going to need to use a service of yours. It doesn't matter who, okay, whether it's buying a car, whether it's using financial services, whether it's personal trainers, whether it's, therapy, whether it's, medical, whether it's, I don't know, like I'm making anything up at this point. Anyway, whether it's jewelry, I don't know, whatever it is. Anyway, the point is that everybody knows 5 people that are going to look for advice in a certain area of services in the next year. Okay, so it's not just about your database's mind share, is you need to get that mind share so strong and imprinted that when they hear people talking about somebody who may use your services, you're the person that comes to their name. They're like, boom, Mary-Anne, go to her. She knows, everybody knows. I'm the person, if you want to take a business from ground to multi-million, I'm your girl. I'm the one you go to. If you want somebody who's soft, like, vanilla ice cream, and it's very, boring and whatever, I am not that person. So my mind share is very clear on one side. So anyway, so the point is that it's the people you don't know, and that's one of the reasons why. So a lot of people stop and say, you know what, my database, everybody knows I sell real estate, everybody knows I'm a coach, everybody knows I'm a personal trainer. You might think that, but are you getting business from your database in excess amount? So that means for every 100 people, there's 500 referrals in there. So if you know 100 people, are you getting 500 referrals in a year? Because if you're not, you don't occupy mind share. There's a big variance between communicating enough that you become top of mind, front of mind, and you have the loyalty and trust and relationships to the point where you are the person. So many local people know that you're the go-to. Why do you think all those business owners go to radio? Because they're trying to pump it out to as many local people as they can. They're trying to get their mind share into the market as much as they can, okay? But you can do it in more effective ways. So anyway, every person, like I said, has 5 people that will trust the advice that they'll give them when they ask for when they talk about a service that they're going to need. So how we've broken it down is this. If you really want to know, 4 calls a year. So the 4 calls, and we're going to put this right into the touch program. 4 calls a year. The first thing you want to do is have 4 calls a year. That means every quarter you are calling your database. Okay, so you are personally calling them, all right? Now, if you have a large database like those people who have databases in excess of 16K, you're not going to be able to do that all in a day. So what you want to do is you want to take the calls and you want to divide them by 4, very simple. So if you have 1,000 people, you divide them by 4, okay? So you're going to be calling all 1,000 in a quarter. Okay, then take that, divide that number into 3. So you want to take that, divide it. Ooh, I just totally effed you all up. Sorry about that. You want to take the 1,000 and you want to say, I'm going to call that 1,000 every quarter. Divide by 3 because there's 3 months in a quarter, so you're all good there. So divide it by 3. And then you want to say, I don't want to call all of them in 1 month or in 1 day. So you want to divide that number by 20. So 20 days of the month, and then you're calling 20 days, so no weekends, 5 days a week. You're taking that database, and every day you have a call list. So that call list gets recycled every quarter. If you divide it into 3, so 3 months and a quarter, then divide it into 20 days. And that becomes your calling number per day. And then you reach out and you touch base. Your touch base script is very simple. Hey, it's Mary-Anne. I'm just calling because you know what? You're a business owner. You're in my database, and I just want to make sure, is there anything that you need as we head into March? Is there anything you need help with? Is there anything I can answer for you? What can I do for you? That is it. You don't need to ask for referrals. You don't need to beg. You don't need to grow your business. You got to let people know, I'm open for business. I give a shit about you, and I'm checking in with you, and I'm not lazy. I'm picking up the phone and I'm calling you because that's what people do, right? Why doesn't it work if you just send an email? Because there's no loyalty, no trust built. There's no getting to know you. Pick up a phone. It just freaks me out how many people are just hiding behind emails all the time. And it's like that connection that we have with people needs to be picking up a phone. Rip off the Band-Aid. If they don't want to talk to you, they're not going to answer. Okay, I'm not going to lie. I mean, it kills me how many people use slide dial, right? Slide dial is like when you sneak into somebody's cell phone and you're like, oh, okay, I'm just going to slide in there and leave them a voicemail. That's I know when I'm getting slide dialed. I know when I'm getting slide dialed. I will purposely call your ass back, and I'll waste 20 minutes of your time if you slide dial me. I will talk nonstop for 20 minutes. I can do it on Facebook Live. I can literally have a conversation with your answer machine for 20 minutes if I want to. Anyway, the point being is that, pick up a phone and do it. Okay, so the calls 4 times a year are actually the most important part of becoming mindshare. When people know that you physically picked up a phone and called them and you're always doing it every quarter, and that's your message. If you don't get the person, at least you're leaving a message and you're like, hey, yo, it's me. I just wanted to give you a call. Sorry I missed you. It's just my quarterly check-in. If there's anything you need, just let me know. They do not have to be a client of yours. And they do not also, don't forget your friends, right? I know it's weird. You think that your friends know what you do for a living. Get out there and don't be afraid to do it, right? You got to do it, all right? Simple as that. You see neighbors, talk to them, be top of mind. Then I want you to do 12 videos a year. Okay, once a month you should be doing a video. Why? Because video gets you, for every, I think it's 1 minute of video, you can articulate 10,000 impressions of words. You cannot do that. Most of you watching this tuned out probably 7 minutes ago, if not longer. Okay, so you're going to watch it later, or you're going to pick up one thing and be like, oh yeah, that's great. Some of you are returning emails right now. Some of you are saying, is that a Tiffany's necklace she's wearing? And I'm saying, yes, it is. So anyway, so there's a lot of things happening right now. So the point is that a lot of you guys will not do video. Okay, I don't care what you look like. I don't care what you say. Just keep it to the point. Get out there and throw the Band-Aid off and just go, hey, listen, do a video, 1 video a month for 12 months. Okay, and keep the content amazing. Okay, so if you're in real estate, maybe your video is just saying, hey, guess what? It's Mary-Anne. I just want to let you know it's March. Rates are going up. We've probably peaked out on pricing. If you want to, and you really should, get your house evaluation, regardless if you're doing anything, get it evaluated this month. Here's the link below. Reach out. I'm happy to help. That is 10 times more impactful on an email video than it is me just sending an email. Yo, it's me, that kind of thing. I get 300 plus emails a day. I do not read 95% of them. I can't possibly read that many emails a day. My mind will just go bananas. So I have to triage to my team like really fast, and then this goes to me. And I would just take an email like that and just pass it off. Okay, so the video 12 times, once a month, super critical, very important. Next thing, 12 emails a year. What I would suggest is something beautiful like my pie chart here. This is like really, I'm only kidding. Anyway, a diagram of some sort visual. You got to remember is that not everybody appeals to the exact same way that you like to learn. So, you're putting in a combination. I would suggest instead of a big long newsletter talking about market stats and stuff like that, dumb it right down and put the most valuable content into one JPEG, a diagram that you send out once a month that has the most important information that people actually like and want. Okay, so ask people what they need. I don't care about a newsletter that has 75 pages to it. What I care about is a really fast diagram. Next thing I would do on my touch program, I would do 1 community event a month, and that would go on my social media, and I would also be emailing a come see us at. Okay, so the community involvement is really important. Most people really do. That's where the mixture of getting to know you on building that mind share. If you're all business all the time, people don't get to know you. That's one of the reasons why I have 2 different social accounts. I have a social account that's very business, and I have a social account that's very much about the athletic journey that I'm on. And you're getting to know me. People know me. They all saw, I posted a picture of my master bedroom this past week. It took me a little bit of guts to do that. I was like, I don't know if I really want people to see where I'm laying my head down, but I'm like, realistically, it's just a picture. It's just a master bedroom. It doesn't look like that every day, I can assure you. But anyway, the point being is that I share it. And so you get to know a little bit about me personally. Sometimes when I have good workouts or whatever, you guys know that, I post that shit. So anyway, but the community involvement every month should be something that you share with people. Get involved in your community. That's a really critical thing. Is if you really look at what COVID's done, it's really taken a lot of the people in the world and it's made them really address the community, what we're doing to help. That stuff is freaking golden. Okay, really golden. I suggest also that, and post it out there, share it. I don't care if you're like supporting a food drive, a Girl Guide event, but get involved, a planner event, really get into your community. If you go back to what I said at the beginning of this video, the key to building a business has as many local people thinking of you as the go-to person. How are they going to do that if you're never in your community? You could do a community event, sponsor it, be part of it, get involved in it, do something. Get involved. A few weeks ago, I was in the Winterman event. Sure, my nutrition company was there and everything, but I volunteered. If you know me, you know I have a very busy lifestyle. I don't have a ton of time to do that, but I got involved. I loved it. I spent the majority of the day there, and I was involved in the community. I got to meet the marketing director of the Beechwood Cemetery, and he's super cool. I didn't know this, but anyway, long story short, I'm going to this great book thing that he has going with this this military guy who wrote this book. It's amazing. But if you're in the community getting involved in stuff, that's how not only am I building my mind share and my network, but I'm also getting involved in the community, and I'm showing it and I'm sharing it because it matters to me. You know, it's a big philosophy that I have. I also suggest an event a year. Do one event a year. That is huge. Don't do 40 events. You're not an event planner. Do one client appreciation / event where you invite everybody per year. If your focus is a lot on family and you're a family person, then that's great. Do like a party in the park and have bouncy castles and partner up with a ton of other people, business owners, if you want to do it. You don't have to do this on your own. You can partner up with people, but one event a year should be good. I strongly suggest webinars. I would say every 2 months, so every 60 days, I like to see a webinar done by business owners that is relevant and important and is really nailing, like a guest speaker that is really amazing. So for example, nobody's really done presidents of the real estate board. You know, if you're a realtor, do president of real estate board, have an interview, do it that way. And then the final thing that I would say is you have to remember is that the services that you offer, that's the key thing, is that are you offering services on a regular basis in your industry? So that's the final touch point to become mindshare. See, you can do all the greatest things, but if you're not offering your services, then there is no call to actions happening. So if you're combining offering services, what I mean is at this time of the year, CMAs if you're a realtor, if you're a personal trainer, is there a service that you could be offering? Maybe you're offering a service that says, look, have you ever always wanted to have your body fat composition done? Never. Anyway, so I don't need to know that. Thank you very much. I see myself in the mirror every day. Anyway, but the point is that some people might want to have their body fat composed, but that's a service that you can provide, right? If you're a jewelry maker, wonderful. Have you always wondered, are you more of a silver, gold, or platinum? Like, who knows? Like, maybe you have that done. If you're an image consultant, what service could you do? A wardrobe service. I had that done. It was fantastic. Clearly I've had that done. Anyway, but you can do different things. Offer your services to people. Every month have a different type of service and start appealing and saying, hey, send it out to your database. This month's service that we're offering is the following. Give people an idea of how they can send people over to you. So those are the touch programs that we suggest. I got to bounce. My suggestion is this. Don't hold back. Sit down. Plan it out. So plan it all out, look at your 12-month calendar, put it all together, and remember something. You are not getting mindshare if you're not consistently touching and communicating in some kind of plan with your database. The returns are sick. They're literally insane. But you have to remember, a touch program with a database is all about mindshare. And if you veer too much outside of what mindshare of your industry and you start going into content that is not related to it, or you're putting it all in one spot and not in another, you're not going to be, you're the product. Always remember that, you're the product. So position yourself to be top of mindshare by communicating frequently and to the point and giving them content that makes them really understand that you are the best. And it's all about that. Okay, good luck. Bye, everyone.